Crystal Deal With It focuses on bridging the gap between where you're at now and where you'd like to be. We'll explore wisdom and techniques from a wide variety of domains and industries and apply them to your unique challenges. I love developing frameworks, processes, and storytelling metaphors that enable personal and business growth. Through actionable next steps, we'll build momentum and confidence. My goal is to help you clear roadblocks, do more with what you have, and realize the potential of yourself and your team. So throw your challenges my way, and Chris will deal with it. First, an AI statement that all elements of this episode are products of the author, Chris Kreuter, and made without the use of any AI tools. Welcome to episode 42 of Chris will deal with it. This is part 10 of our summer principle series. It can be listened to by itself, but for greater context, refer back to the intro episode number 32. Note that the principles in this series are what work for me. They allow me to thrive and live my values as best as I can. I'm not advocating the adoption of my specific set of principles. Rather, I'm attempting to showcase the power of principles by providing more context on how they can be defined, codified, and embedded into the thoughts and actions of our lives. Let's dig into principle number 10, live minimized and organized. So where does this principle come from? This principle came about from the desire to live with the intention that acquiring stuff is a byproduct of living, not an end goal. Stuff are things that we interact with, tools that we can use, and I'm not saying that objects can't be important. They can be imbued with deep meaning and be vital tools for living, but stuff can also be used as a status symbol. It can distract us and get in our way. This principle does combine two things, but they are related. The less stuff we have in our way, the easier it is to be organized. Organization itself is important because it allows us to be more effective, and it's vital to me personally as it helps with anxiety and staying clear on my goals, which we'll touch on throughout this episode. Of all my principles, this is likely the most aspirational. I'm still far from my idealized goal of minimizing the things in my life, and I believe there's still plenty of room to improve my organization too. Why is this important? Consider the purpose of the stuff we surround ourselves with. The more stuff we control, the more it controls us. Many people have heard the expression, a place for everything and everything in its place. Living this way allows the mind greater focus. One's surroundings become a mirror that reflects the order within oneself. Remember that everything we own comes with more than the initial cost of acquisition. Consider the other costs each object in our lives may come with. Housing and protecting it, its maintenance and upkeep, the energy it uses, moving or transporting it, its eventual disposal, and the environmental impact of producing and using it. How does living this principle impact myself and others? The easier it is to maintain organized surroundings, the easier it is to focus more of our energy on creating, whether that be work, art, family, community, memories, or our own inner peace. We have the capacity to create spaces that inspire, invite, relax, protect, and bring together. Likewise, our spaces can frustrate, injure, cramp, or make more anxious. There's enough for everybody as long as collectively we can agree on what's enough. Less stuff equals less waste of stuff, lowering our environmental impact. Consider how little we truly need to be secure, feel valued, and be happy. We ought to leave what we can to allow others to achieve this state, upon which they can thrive. And it takes time and experience to figure out what does matter. As we evolve, so does our environment and that which we're borrowing from the universe. Consider the nomadic life. There are fewer communities like this nowadays, but countless millions of early humans got by without shopping centers, cars, and the internet. I'm not saying modernity is bad, just that the trappings of our modern life don't make us more or less human in and of themselves. We have to put our developments, knowledge, and resources to work for bettering our communities and the planet. Hoarding or wasting them does so little. So what does living this principle look like in action? Taking the time to keep life minimized and organized has a direct impact on my ability to feel on top of things, in control. Disorder in my surroundings leads to disorder in my mind. Everyone has a different calculus around this though. Others may be totally comfortable with piles of stuff lying about. And listen, having kids, I'm trying to adjust the massive amount of disarray and chaos that comes with it. I know this has to be embraced to a certain extent, but it does have an impact on my mental clarity and anxiety. Over the years, I have learned some tricks that work well for me by keeping specific dedicated places for certain important objects, taking a little bit of time every day to clean up little messes, organize piles of papers, or put away toys on the floor. And I have a Friday afternoon weekly routine where I go through my goals, objectives, clean up my to-do lists, and plan the following week. So, in honor of this being episode 42, the infamous answer to the ultimate question, there's a link in the show notes. Here's a fun quote from one of my favorite authors, Douglas Adams, from his iconic book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. One of the things Ford Prefect had always found hardest to understand about humans was their habit of continuously stating and repeating the very, very obvious. And with that fun little quote, have a great day. If you feel that Chris dealt with it, I'd appreciate your support of the show by sharing it with someone who might benefit. Ratings on your favorite podcast player are also helpful in growing the audience. Visit chriskroiter.com for free downloadable PDFs with notes and resources from today's episode, sign up for the CDWI mailing list, or to send in your problems or requests for future shows. That's CHRISKREUTER.com, or use the link in the show notes. Thanks for listening to Chris will Deal With It.